To my ops, I forgive them. They must not know what they doing. They must not know what they doing. I guess it's time that I school them. It's Jesus who reign over me, and they unconsciously let the enemy rule him. If they serve a discord in the kingdom of God, well, I'm pushing the plate cause I'm food in. Just like crabs in a bucket that's swimming around. If you trying to get out, you get pulled in.
Don't get pulled in, nah.
But the fact of the matter is this ain't even flesh and blood that we battling. It's really the enemy using your brother or sister.
Folks,
trying to
these days are crazy. We are surrounded, okay? I mean, you know how the police will be outside your house saying, "You're surrounded." We are surrounded by insane, crazy people, okay? You can't just say insane. Like, you gotta put a little emphasis on there. Either put it like an Italian accent or something. They're insane. Or like, they're crazy, insane, crazy, nutso. Chickens with their heads cut off. People are nuts. What gets me the most is how incredibly simple it is. It is so easy to be a half-decent person. It is so easy just to get along and have a conversation and investigate something and figure things out. It's so simple to just be decent. And most people these days will go so far out of their way to be the most difficult little critters you have ever had the displeasure of dealing with. And all you can do is ask yourself, why are you like this? Why do you insist on being so difficult and crazy? You know? Folks will be petty for no reason. You haven't done nothing to a person, and they will go so far their way to do the most, to try to cause you as much pain and suffering as they possibly can. And then they want to say that they're not demon possessed. Oh, hilarious. Please get into stand-up comedy, you demonically possessed losers. Oh, man. It's gonna be a red October. Spooky season's coming. It's gonna be a red October.
Yeah, spooky season coming. It's gonna be a red October.
Okay. You may not even know someone exists, and they come out of the woodwork and literally beg you to be a part of their life or whatever. And when you give them what they want, they turn around and treat you worse than they would treat garbage. Okay? And they put so much energy and time, like a full-time job's worth of time, to do what they can to break you down. And I don't know how they sleep at night. I don't know how they look in the mirror. I don't know how they live with themselves. And all these people think they're good people. Everyone thinks they're a good person. Yeah, I mean, I can't wrap my mind around it. This world is so crazy. But oh, do I have a choice? No. I guess I shouldn't complain. I have to endure till the end, right? I have to endure. You know, if I hadn't already gone through several lifetimes of abuse and trauma before I became a Christian, I would be gung-ho. I'd be so resilient. I'd have so much energy, have so much time, or feeling like I have so much time. I'd be like, oh yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Let's fight the good fight. Let's endure 100 years of this garbage. I'm ready for it. But God put me in the race after I already went through all of this, right? And so it's like I've been it's like I'm a car in a NASCAR race. And before the race has begun, I'm already on fumes. I showed up to the racetrack on fumes. Everyone else has gas in their tank, and now they're saying, all right, we're about to start the race. And I'm like, wait a minute, I need to be gassed up first. You know? It is tough, because you know that this is just the beginning of it. We're not even in a cashless society yet. We're not even, to the level of Venezuela. We got ways to go in America. I mean, yeah, things are going bad fast, but we still have a ways to go. And in the book of Revelations, there are so many stages, so many seals before the end finally comes, before the sun goes dark and the moon turns to blood red, right? So we got a long ways. And I'm just over here shaking my head on a daily basis like, how am I going to make it through? How is anybody going to make it through? I mean, God was right. If if the days had not been shortened for the sake of the elect, and if Jesus Christ did not return when he does, no flesh would be spared. And I believe that. Because I already don't know how there's anybody around with how crazy everything is. I don't know how the buildings are so straight. Because you'd think if you're an architect or you're working in construction and you are as crazy and twisted as everyone else walking around, then surely you don't even know what up and down, left and right and straight is. I'm surprised the buildings don't look like coils or something. The world has the illusion of being in order, but then you just peel off a little bit of the paint and you see there is no order to be had. Incredible. Incredible. Satan is the master of illusions, and he's going to be the master of swimming in the lake of fire. And I'm going to be so happy about it. Thank God for the sweet, delicious, tangy, sour, spicy, crispy, juicy justice. Ooh, it's going to make it all worth it. All of this and all of that will be worth it if we can just endure till the end. Ooh. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh my goodness. People are nuts.
So welcome to season 1, episode 1 of Nightmare Tenants, featuring Caitlin Poor of Atrium Health and her partner Kathleen Kennedy of DHL Logistics. So my husband and I, we have a rental property, and it's the home that we brought our kids home in from the hospital, and it's the house that we had planned to actually give to one of our children in the future. Our old tenant of 2 years was moving out, and we actually had a great experience with him. Anytime he had a concern, it was always handled and addressed promptly and professionally by my husband. And ultimately, we still have a good relationship now. So this is where we enter Miss Caitlin and Kathleen. They moved in on Super Bowl Sunday, and were only in the property for a week's time. When they moved in, they were informed that there was some paint touch-ups that needed to be completed in the kitchen just due to the removal of the popcorn ceiling. Ultimately, they were unhappy that this didn't happen in the expected timeline, but did express just how grateful they were for my husband's overall communication. But once they moved in, they had an extremely nitpicky list of demands in their words. They stated that if we did not meet their demands, that they would be moving out. Some of them were a little bit odd. They sent a message stating that they had clogged the toilet, that we would need to take care of it, and that is their wording. And the wording itself kind of just gave me weird vibes. But regardless, their concerns were addressed. They were told that if they wanted to move out, that we would break their lease. But ultimately, they were upset that they weren't going to get their February rent back, in spite of the fact that they were living there in part of February. And they said that they would consult with legal counsel and get back to us as to whether or not they were going to remain in the property. They proceeded to use racial slurs, including the N-word, at my husband. So ultimately, he had a bad feeling about the tenants, and he stated that he was going to go out there and just do an inspection on Friday to make sure that everything was the way that it was supposed to be. So he went out on Friday, everything was in place, and fast forward to Monday, we get a call from the neighboring unit. We have a great relationship with all of our former neighbors. So they gave us a call, and they informed us that there was water damage in their home that was apparently coming from our unit. So then 2 minutes later, I get a call from my other neighbor. She's not in the neighboring unit, but she gave me a call, and she said that there's something going on at our house. There's water all in the street. She said she thought it was because it was raining, but she noticed that it was coming from all around our property. And so I asked her if our tenants were still there. She said that they left on Saturday morning. She said that a moving truck woke her up, and she said that they had a crew of 20 people, and they were basically hustling to get out of there quick. And so she knew something was going on. So We get in the car and we head to our old rental property, which is about an hour and a half away from where we live, and we get a call from the HOA. And they told us that they suspected that there was foul play. So as we're pulling up to the property, we see water just covering the parking lot. There's water on the outside of our house, water surrounding the property, coming out of the side paneling. The fire alarm is going off. We open the door and there is water everywhere. The entire first and second level is completely covered with water, and basically the ceiling is caving in. So the fire department had to come to shut the alarm off, and they pointed out where Caitlin and Kathleen had actually unscrewed the toilet and damaged the pipe to where they could tell that it was intentionally done. We saw where both of the pipes on both toilets were destroyed, and the water was turned on, so basically it would run and flood the place. And not only that, but the neighbor's home is now destroyed. And, you know, me personally, I'm not understanding how anyone could do this to someone's home, especially when my husband was nothing but accommodating and professional with them. And it really, honestly, just takes it a step further when Caitlin, who works for Atrium as a PA on emergency, would think it was a good idea to create a safety hazard and a fire hazard in a unit attached to other homes. And then following the incident, when we called them regarding the flood, they stated that they were not going to talk about it and that they just wanted to return their keys back. Obviously, audacity is running at an all-time high on this Tuesday, and it's in moments like these when I'm reminded that while God is real, demons are too, because this is nothing but demonic behavior to intentionally vandalize someone's home to the point where we can no longer enter the property, let alone have somebody live there. All of the time and the money and the investment is, gone and wasted. This was truly an act of pure evil, and, these two people really need to be held accountable for their actions. And it's truly a shame that anyone could really do something like this. On our end, we have filed a police report. We have contacted their employers. We'll continue to keep you updated as we document the progression of all of this. We've, of course, contacted our lawyers. It's an unfortunate and an unnecessary situation. And while it's a huge hit, we're just trusting in God and remaining positive. And we just ask for your continued prayers during this time. But ultimately, we know that everything will work out for the better. So I hope that your Tuesday is happier than ours is. But that's it for season 1, episode 1.